Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars on the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Aggression in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Can in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. We live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're all force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Hey, good morning. Hey, look, we got a Ken.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And we got a Joe back from the deathbed.
Yeah.
And we've got a bunch of other people tagged today. We've got the Ravens, the Rams, the Dolphins, the Dirty Birds, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Texans, the Cincinnati Bungles, the Giants, the Colts, the Saints, and the Brownies. Good morning, Yoli. Yeah, I think oh, shoot. How did SOL? Okay, that should be NFL. It should be, so, yeah. Oh, Skull. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, got a bunch of hashtags out there this morning, too, for all those people on X. If you're on X, welcome to the program. Don't forget to leave a comment, like the original post, comment in the live stream so we can see you. If you're on YouTube, or Facebook, smash that subscribe and like button. If you're on the TV app, thank you for joining us. If you don't have the TV app, go to your Roku or your Fire TV, your Fire Stick, and search the Huddle Sports, and you'll find our app there. You can watch us on your TV, on your mobile devices, whatever you have. So, good morning, everyone. So, it's funny because Joe and I were just talking. We've been clowning all summer on the Bengals, the Who Day people, and about how they have no defense. And what the Raiders go do? Sign 2 of their defensive players from the Bengals.
Yeah, but they signed 2 of the better ones. Jermaine Pratt.
You cherry-picked it. Yeah, you cherry-picked their best. That's all.
Jermaine Pratt is he's older now, but he's not a terrible player. And Mike Hilton is actually not a bad corner. I think they actually signed him to be the slot corner to replace Nate Hobbs.
And other non-NFL news, because we have to mention, congratulations to the Florida Panthers. They become the second Florida team in 6 years to repeat the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup has come through Florida every year for the last 6 years, 4 of those times staying in Florida. So, Florida teams, hey, they can't play football, but at least they can play hockey, it seems.
I was going to say that's the one sport you would expect them to suck at. Who would just automatically assume, hey, Florida's going to have a hockey team? What?
Yeah.
And they're going to be the world champions.
And a Canadian team still has not won a Stanley Cup since 1993. No, the last team was actually Yogorowski. It was funny because it was actually because I completely forgot about the Lightning repeating. Was it 20 and 21 or 21-22? No, 20 and 21 was it? And now the Panthers have repeated back to back. Before the Lightning, it was the Red Wings in the 90s. Morning, Yoli.
Morning, Yoli.
Oh, wait. Yoli went from she's jumping from platform to platform. She'll be on X. Good morning, Philip.
Hey, go, Pat. Go, Philip.
Yeah, I know. Thank you. Wow. Well, pat yourself on the back, Carl. Everyone makes mistakes. And look, he had to even put
every time you need a good pat on the back.
Yeah, he had to yell it too. It's like, we got you, Grabowski. That's nice. Bear down, Philip. Raiders swallowed. Jeez.
Hey, actually, I have a funny anecdote about that.
So that's good. Welcome back.
Yeah. So, apparently, over the last few weeks, there was this really, really rich and really, really gay billionaire. He offered Max Crosby $250 million to be like a permanent spokesman for the LGBT plus movement, and it was going to include like Apple equipment and stuff for the team and everything like that. I think he might be like the CEO of Apple or something, but Max Crosby declined, saying, "I'm not for sale." So the Raiders, in fact, do not swallow.
Good morning, Brent. And Grabowski. My God, he still wants to stay on this. I said I realized it last night. Actually, I was on a show we were talking about, and I realized it then. Okay? We're human here.
Hey, I just want to point out, Carl.
People may not be human, but the rest of us are.
Hey, Carl, if you have to keep pointing out how big your cock is, it's probably not that big.
Yeah. We got some. Yeah, we do. So we got hit here in Florida, like with rain, like go figure. But up here in the Panhandle, it's not like central. But we got hit the other day, and I lost internet. And like, it's going to be at least. It was like at 3:00 in the afternoon. It'll be till 6 p.m. yesterday is when I was supposed to come back. It came back a little bit earlier because obviously I was able to get on last night. But it's like, geez. I think that what it was that my internet company just blew a few of their servers. Because my neighbor also has his TV to them. He said the cable TV was fine. It was the internet. So maybe they blew some servers.
That sounds more like it, because I know if my internet actually fully goes out, the cable's going out too.
Yeah, so. Oh, Jesus. I'm just going to let Carl keep going on. But the last 6 Stanley Cups have all been in Florida, so that's okay. Thank you. Thank you, Carl. Anywho, back to football. As Carl keeps swinging it in the comments. Really,
God, what do you say now? I'm 14 inches soft. Oh, fuck, dude.
Joseph. Well, Joseph. So you're on the phone, so you probably can't see it there. Yeah, don't worry about it. Anywho, well, here I'll show you just so because
you see what happens when you invite hockey into a football show, Ken.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Maybe you should
what is Carl's thing today? Great, Carl. Great. Do you have your own show, Carl? Let's all go watch Carl now because he's perfect with everything he says. Fuck, hey.
Hey, maybe offer him a position like the Schwab, like.
Yeah, you can be the Schwab, or like that PTO. You can come out at the end of the show and let us know about our errors. How's that, Carl? Jesus, let's go to Carl's show so we can spot check everything he's ever said ever. Thank you, Philip, for bringing us back to football and back from Carl's dick swinging. Let me see. Yeah. All right, continue on Bears duo tight ends. Loveland is a rookie 5-year contract, so the Bears can pay Kmet good money for at least 4 years before being concerned. And they are paying him money for those years, or at least 3 of them, right? He's got 3 more years under contract where his cap hits $11 million. So, yeah, Philip, you're 100% correct. I think the only thing where that might change is if they want to spend more money at a different position group, and they're overspending on tight end, right? If they feel they're overspending at tight end, because remember, most of these GMs, the way they break it down, they have a dollar amount per position group.
Nope.
Right? They take the big pie and they break it up. Here's how much I'm going to spend on tight ends. Here's how much I'm going to spend on interior line. Here's how much I'm going to spend on edges. Good morning, Dorn. He changes
it. This is fucking great.
I don't think there's any way that Cole Kmet's going to see the end of that contract.
It depends. I mean,
I think they'll use it. I think they'll use it for some good 12 personnel plays. For the next 2 years.
Hold on a second. Let me address this really quick because he's going off. Caps is screaming That's what most people say. No one stole anything from you. I've never seen your show. I don't follow you. I don't read any of your crap. So, Carl, no one stole jack from you. So, you know what?
What exactly were you supposed to steal?
I have no idea.
On one of the shows, he had said something about the Thunder winning it back to back, and Ken had forgotten about the Thunder.
The Lightning.
Or
But
Lightning, Thunder, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't follow hockey.
I don't know about that, Brent. I haven't heard anything about Za'Darius Smith being contacted by the Bears or his agent.
I was going to say he has to. He's got to finish his NFC North round trip.
Yeah, I think he may have contacted. But Carl, back to Carl really quick. Carl, no one cares about you enough to steal your shit, okay? None of us really care about you that much. Really. I really could care less about what you're saying on your show. I've never been there. Drop me a link on X and maybe I'll go check you out. But
Morning, Eric.
Yeah. Morning, Eric. So
I know you want my goodies. I know you thought about it.
But I don't know. I mean, see, that's what I'm saying. Thank you, man. Philip gets gold star. Philip is getting the gold star this morning for bringing us back to football. Thank you so much, Philip. I don't know. I mean, Joe, you were saying you don't think, was it Joe? You said you don't think Cole Kmet sees the end of that contract. I mean,
yeah, I don't think
they've got the money, why not?
Contract. Because I just think that the tight end position becomes redundant with two receiving tight ends that are making, similar amounts of money. Like, if they want to have, I mean, he's a first round pick, so he's making what, like $8 million, $6 million, between $6 and $8 million a year. Like for his rookie contract?
No, it's not that at all. His rookie deal being a first rounder isn't that much a year. Hold on a second. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
No. Well, let me see. Let me find him. I'm looking it up. Where is he at? You know what's funny when you want to find a guy and then you can't find the guy when you go to look him up over the cap? There you go, Colson Loveland. Okay, so this year, I don't want a freaking ad. I wanted to see what Colson Loveland's making. Thank you. Okay, so well, his cap number actually, yeah, Joe, you're right and you're wrong. His cap number this year is 4.8, then 6, then 7, then 8. So if you look at Cole Kmet, that last year of Cole Kmet, they'll have $18 million going to the tight end position between the two of them.
Yeah, it's just too much.
So actually, next year they have.
Go ahead.
So this year they have $16 million. Next year they go to $17 million, and then the last year it would go to 18, almost $19 million. To the tight end position. From that standpoint, you could be right.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Kmet's last season this year. Like, I think they're going to want to run the 12 personnel with two tight ends, and that this will allow them to do that. And if it's productive, I could even see them trying to use it for another season. But once it gets up to that 18, 19 mark, they're either Cole Kmet's going to take they're going to trade him or cut him.
He could take a restructured pay cut. That's always possible. I mean, everything I've seen about Cole Kmet, he doesn't scream he's looking for the dollar bills. He knows he's made some dollar bills. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see because. And if you
remember what I said was I didn't necessarily say the Bears were going to get rid of him. I said he won't see the end of that contract, like meaning as is, he's not going to see that payday for all 3 of those years. I think they're going to have to work something out with him because they may want to keep him. Like, I'm not saying they might not want to keep him. Like, especially if the 12 personnel works out in Ben Johnson's offense, like, imagine having 2 Laportas. You know what I mean? Like.
So I just did another
or one Laporta and one little less than Laporta. Kmet
signed through 27, and Loveland's last year, fourth year of his rookie deal is 28, and he is 11.6 million every year is his cap hit.
Yeah, and I don't think that. I also don't think Loveland is going to see the end of his rookie contract without getting extended. Like, if he pans out, if he turns out to be a great player, they're not going to want to sit there and pay him that 5th year, or they might want to pay him that 5th year option, but he might be like, nah.
Yeah, but I think if you look at the league right now, most teams, if they're going to keep the guy, they extend them before the 5th year option takes effect.
Exactly.
Like, so he'll get to the end of year 4 and then either get an extension, or if they think he has something to prove, they'll do or they can't come to the 5th year option. Seems to be one of two things: either you have something left to prove, they're still on the fence on you, or you want way too much money, so it's just cheaper for me to tag you. Right? And then the third option is you don't get a contract because you didn't pan out for him. That seems to be the way that works. Is that about in a nutshell? So I don't know if Laporta is overrated, John.
I'd agree with it.
I think Laporta got set back due to injury. I think he's very damn good, but maybe I could agree with you that he's not as good as Lions fans thinks he is, but he's still one of the better top tight ends in the league. I would still say
Top 5.
Yeah. I mean, Lions fans, some will be like, "Oh, he's the best tight end ever made." Oh no, George Kittle might have something to say about that, and there's some other pass greats that might have something to say about that. But is he giving me the best in the division this year? I'll take Kraft over him.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of that, though, for my choosing of taking Kraft over him has to do with Kraft's mentality. He brings that old school football mentality back, where I want to make it to where you just don't want to get on the field again.
I would take Kmet over him primarily because he's always healthy. That's another good thing about Kmet. He's durable. The guy's never missed a game to injury that I can recall. I know Carl will probably go out there and fact check it now and told me I stole his stat if I missed a game there. But as far as I can remember, I don't think Kmet's really had any injury issues. That's the other thing about Kmet. Like, he's durable.
Yeah, but I don't think Kmet or Kraft are as good as Laporta.
I think
just being honest.
The problem with Kmet is the Bears had to use him the last couple of years as a primary blocker instead of a pass catcher. When they use him as a pass catcher, he does phenomenal shit. The problem is the offensive play calling hasn't called on it. And I don't know why, because you've got a weapon and you never use it as a weapon. Instead, you use it as a road bump on the way to the quarterback, right? I mean, Kmet's strong suit is not his blocking. He's gotten better at it over the last couple years because he's had to, because they made him basically a blocker. He's a quality tight end. Phillip is correct, but the Bears have misused him. So I don't know if Ben Johnson maybe gets more out of him. Eric, we'll see. Let's wait and see on that one. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Lions fans, everyone's an all-pro that plays for the Lions. They're all world. But, I mean, the problem with Kmet, they just haven't used him right. I'm being a homer again. No, let's wait and see on Kraft, Kmet, and Loveland. I mean, Kraft, once again, benefits from having a great coach who puts him – like, I wish if you had Kmet up there, you'd be doing crazy crap in Green Bay with Kmet up there. I think Kmet's a better tight end. I think that Kraft gets a benefit of better coaching, or has had the benefit of better coaching.
Yeah.
Thank you, John.
I still think, I'm not saying that Kraft or Kmet are not solid or quality tight ends. In my personal opinion, I think Laporta is the best tight end in the North right now.
Well, I mean, him and Hawk have been showing it, right? Hawkinson's been showing it when he plays in Minnesota. Laporta's been showing it when he plays in Detroit, but that's the key word in both of them, when they play. Like they both have injury issues, and for me, that's problematic. Like, be durable. Be durable. I mean, Kittle isn't as durable as he used to be, but I think he's even more durable than those two. God
None of
knows
those
he
guys
hits
are
more.
Brock Bowers, though.
I was waiting for the
I was waiting on Brock Bowers too.
lazy.
I mean, we can't talk about
Ken,
tight
wouldn't it
ends.
be funny if Brock Bowers is nowhere to be found this entire season?
We can't
He's like a ghost.
talk about tight
I'd
ends.
laugh my fucking ass off.
We cannot talk about tight ends without throwing in the conversation the man who broke all the rookie tight end records, even the precious Mike Ditka record. Like, just saying.
Hey, Philip makes a good comment here. And he's right. You are correct, Philip. I mean, that's the thing. The NFC North is loaded with talent. The only team that probably wouldn't take one of our tight ends might be Joe's Raiders, and maybe the 49ers. The Niners are probably maybe. Well,
I was gonna say I think the Niners would be because of his age there. That you got to start working on that succession plan.
I mean, the North overall, though, if you look at the North, like all 4 teams have a tight end someone else was going to take. Even Eric knew it's coming. We all have at least one receiver that someone would take. For you guys, Ken, it's your rookie until proven otherwise. I don't think they take the other 2 guys. Like
there are rumors of people that want to try to get Dobbs.
Yeah, Dobbs would be a solid number 2. Yeah. So I kind of take that back a little bit. We all have running backs other people would take. We all have defensive players other people would take. Yeah, there's a lot of good players in the NFC North right now. You could say out of minus Philadelphia and a couple others. I mean, the North is stacked with talented players.
Hey there, Joe. Dorn's got a comment for you.
You got to remember, Dorn, like, he has 153 targets last year because who else was there to throw to? Like, and we had Gardner Minshew as our quarterback. Like, I mean, he won't get 153 targets this year, but I'll bet you he still goes over 1,000 yards. So, yeah, anybody who wants, anybody who wants to push back on the Brock Bowers thing, feel free. Just use football facts. That's all. Like, don't use emotion. Just point out where in the football facts you think that Brock Bowers is not better than any of the tight ends that we're talking about. Like, I'm just saying, like, and it's not even because he's a Raider. I'm just, I mean, that certainly helps. Like, I'm glad that we have him on our team, but like, what other rookie tight end came into the league and broke Mike Ditka's record? Nobody.
No,
it was only Brock Bowers.
Look, Brock Bowers is having had a great rookie season. I agree with everything Joe just said. He had a great rookie season. He also benefited from being one of the only weapons that they actually were reliable, and he balled out. And speaking of good tight ends that balled out, before I forget, Kelly, I'll get to. We haven't even started to talk about your question yet. So give us a second. The kid down in Tampa, that kid balled out too, right? When Tampa lost basically their entire receiving core, that kid, man, he balled out. He got hit. What's the name of that tight end there in Tampa? That kid was like their savior for a couple games.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but you're right. He was really good.
Kelly's question. Riddle me this: how did the Bears pay Kmet more money with more experience? He gets less targets, less receptions, less yards, and less touchdowns. Okay, so let's look up Cole Kmet really quick, his stat line, right? So rookie year, 28 receptions, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay, not great. 21, 60 receptions, 612 yards, no touchdowns. 22, 50 receptions, 544 yards, 7 touchdowns. Actually, in 23, he had 6 more touchdowns with 73 receptions, 719 yards. And last year, only 47 receptions for 474, and 4 touchdowns. His career average for yards per catch is 10 yards per catch. Not bad. Here's how Cole Kmet gets paid, right? By the way, in every one of those years, in his rookie year, he played 16 of 17. That's the only time he's missed a game. The rest of his career, 17 of 17 for games played. Cole Kmet's durable. When they do use him, good things usually happen, right? The problem is they haven't used him. Like, the Bears know they got a guy, right? They haven't used him. So how many receptions did Brock Bowers have last year?
Over 100.
Yeah, over 100. And Cole Kmet hasn't even been targeted 100 times in a season yet. So they know what they got based off the numbers. The problem is they don't use them enough. Hopefully, this is Bears fans' hope, that with Ben Johnson, they actually use Kmet as a weapon that we know he is.
Yeah,
So,
I'm hoping.
so that's how you explain that, Kelly. Now, Kelly then goes on to say, same thing with DJ Moore. Okay, so what's wrong with paying DJ Moore? Last year was his first non-1,000-yard season, right? I don't think he had 1,000 yards last year. I think it was his first year of a non-1,000-yard season.
He's probably looking at 1,000 this year.
Yeah.
That depends on how much that. I was gonna say that depends on how much that ball gets spread around.
Yeah, I think Rome could get 1,000 too.
So last year he had 966 yards, an average of 9.9 yards per reception, 98 receptions, 6 touchdowns. I'm sorry, it wasn't his only non-1,000-yard season. In 2022, he only had 888 his last year in Carolina. His rookie year was 788. His first year in Chicago, 1,364 yards for 14.2. Last year at 9.9 was his worst average per catch year in his career. The dude,
You should have known that, Ken. Carl knew that.
Yeah, I know. So after the 23 season, after coming off a career year, I mean, giving him the extension, okay. Kelly just does not like how the Bears spent money. That's fine. But when we give the quarterback other time, we pay him more money, and he gets more targets, more catches, but less yards and less touchdowns. So the Bears are paying him more money to worsen his job. Hold on a second. I don't think he had more targets. He had 4 more targets last year than he did in 2023. He had 2 more receptions than he did in 2023 last year. His average was down. His touchdowns were down by 2. He had 8 in 23, 6 in 24. His longest, though, in 23 was 58 yards. His longest last year was 24. And the fumbles and the fumble loss, he was the same. So I get what you're saying. But Kelly, there's some situationality to that too, right? I mean, the Bears' offense was horrid last year as far as throwing the ball. I mean, they didn't really push the ball downfield. Give him. Yeah, that's fine, Kelly. You can take. We'll take the Packer fan.
Yeah.
What do you think of what I just said there, Ken?
DJ Moore, I would kind of look at this as more of a prove it year for him, and not like he massively underperformed or something like that. He did have a down year, but my issue with him was how he kind of quit on the team for a couple of different plays with the frustration of the coaching and all that.
Yeah, the Arizona game.
Yeah, I want to see, is this a character issue for DJ Moore, or was it just, hey, you were in a completely shitty situation? I'd give him this year to prove that you know, he was worth that upgrade in money. But if you have anything like last year, especially with the melodrama shit, then I'd say that probably wasn't the best idea to extend him.
I mean, I can roll with that to a degree, but I mean, I know they addressed that, the fans, the media, and everything, and everyone's like, dude, that's so out of character for DJ Moore, what he did. but yeah, I can see that. I mean, paying a guy after a career year is kind of par for course, right? I.e., Jair Alexander, right? I.e., a lot of players. So, and really, when you think what the Bears paid him, they didn't overpay him at what for what wide receiver ones get. He didn't get the top dollar. What did he get? 25 mil when everyone else, when the top guys are getting 30, 35. So they didn't completely overpay him in that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was actually smart to re-sign him before Jamar Chase got his deal and stuff like that, because then they would have been looking at $35 million.
Great, Carl. Think Carl hates Cole Kmet? Everyone else says Cole Kmet's a solid player, and here comes Carl. He's a piece of shit. He sucks.
Dumb piece of shit. Oh my god.
Yeah, look at he's swinging it again.
I mean, if we're gonna go for Bears hate, then I can agree with that. But if we're going, what I truly think, I think he is a decent tight end that has been underutilized, like Aaron Jones was when Mike McCarthy was the head coach.
I mean, when they throw to Kmet, he's averaging. I mean, that's the thing. Kmet's average per catch is 10 yards. So you're like, why aren't you throwing to this cat more? Like, but no, they've had to utilize him the last couple of years primarily as a blocker, which is not his strong suit. But when they throw to him, he does great things. I mean, the guy creates offense, and hopefully they get it right this year. I mean, otherwise the Bears will have wasted a talented player. And DJ Moore, I think the entire offense was frustrated last year, right? It wasn't just DJ, it was a lot of people. But I mean, DJ Moore, like, up until that point, was averaging over 1,000 yards a season, even last year being a down year for him, still 966 yards on an offense that wasn't great. He was the number one receiver for the Bears last year, right? Out of Caleb's 3,500 or so, 966 of them are DJ Moore. So, I mean, he's just under a third, right, of the offensive production as a receiver. So I think they were still kind of justified in the money. There you go. It wouldn't be a morning.
Everything is right in the world.
Good morning, broski.
Here I come to save the day. Yeah, Ken, I see you're having fun with some of these Bears comments today.
With Grabowski, who's just swinging it today, and then Kelly doesn't like how the Bears have spent money on Cole Kmet and DJ Moore.
Yeah, I mean, like I've said, and I'm not gonna, get into the whole back and forth, but I do think there is a good chance Cole Kmet is no longer a Bear after this season. They're gonna have a lot of money invested in tight end. They just spent a 10th pick overall on a tight end. Are they gonna pay their second tight end, nearly $12 million? I don't know. Maybe not. Who knows?
Oh, it's more than that. We broke down the numbers.
What's that?
You missed that part. Maybe we broke down early, like, because Joe's like, he doesn't see the end of the contract because next year it's like 11.6 for Cole and like over 4 for Loveland. And the last year of Cole's contract, they'd be paying the tight end room, those two guys, almost like 18, 19 mil.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. You're paying Cole almost $12 million next year. It's 11.6. So
it's 11.6 every year. Yeah. 11.6.
But yeah. So my point is, they're not going to be most likely spending money on 2 tight ends. Like that much money. And then DJ Moore, he's a wide receiver, man. He's like the typical, like, emotional, throw the ball to me. Like, he gets very excitable. You know what I mean? Like, he's just one of those kind of, he doesn't play like a diva, but he's kind of got that diva mentality, like classic wide receiver.
Because we saw that Broski last year. Like, we've never seen him like that as a Bear. Everything you see about him, he's team. And then that Arizona game, he just like walks off the field like during the play. It's just kind of he's like fuck this offense, like fuck this coach. He needs to go. And it was like so out of character for what we hear and see from him normally. I think that's why it was a bigger shocker.
Yeah, honestly, it was. Like you said, I mean, last year was such a shit show. I'm not gonna, give a player a pass, but I mean, leave it to the Bears to get it to that point where it's such a goddamn disaster that stuff like that is happening too. So I'm hoping more than anything this season, honestly, the Bears as an organization, kind of turn the page, take a huge step forward, like literally just running shit correctly. Like honestly, that's freaking huge. Yeah. And I see John Dorn has a new name. Lions Fool's Gold. Fool's Gold
Yeah.
Lions.
Fool's Gold Lions.
Shout out John Dorn. Shout out Eric in the comments.
Yeah, and Carl, like he's swinging it today. He's still going off about how terrible Cole Kmet is. That it's Ryan Pace's fault for drafting him in the second round in a weak tight end class. Okay, that's cool. I mean, everyone else here thinks that he's a solid tight end except for you, Carl. So, but we all know that you're right and everyone else is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, Kmet Kmet's a really good tight end. Like he is. Like I'm never gonna say he's not. I like.
According to Carl, he's trash and he's a dumb piece of shit. Per Carl.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely disagree with that. I'm trying to decipher Rob's comment. Rob, he
Yeah, I have
said
no idea.
more buddy got traded.
DJ Moore's buddy and Justin Fields got traded, and that might be the reason for his decline.
No, I think the decline was
okay.
just the offensive scheme and play calling last year.
It could possibly have something to do with that because there is certainly a thing with receivers and having chemistry with quarterbacks.
Sure, but I'm also, you guys familiar with the term a perfect storm? Because that's kind of what swept through the Bears freaking the House Hall last year. I mean, you want to talk about like Hurricane Helen or Helene, like, oh my God, in their locker room. Like, I mean, that's just what went on last season is something that like we can never allow it to happen again. A lot of players were impacted. I'm giving everyone kind of like a season here, kind of like a fresh start. I think it's only right to do that, honestly. And yeah, I mean, I do think this coaching staff will weed out the guys who we don't want around going forward.
Yeah, Broski, when you look back at last season, it really was probably one of the worst. Record-wise, 5 wins wasn't the worst we've seen, but probably one of the worst seasons we've seen as Bears fans, because after the London game, that team, like, you want to disintegrate in front of your eyes. It did. And the players tried to keep it together as best they could, but they couldn't do it. They needed the coaching. You could just at the time it wasn't completely obvious, but now when you look back, it's so obvious. Just like the complete breakdown of a football team on every level, from play calling to frustration to mentally being checked out at some point, just not caring anymore. I mean, I don't know how much that last one was them not caring anymore, but at some point I wouldn't have blamed them.
Yeah, I didn't think it could have gotten any worse from the season before. How disappointing it was. It got worse. Oh, yes, it did.
There were some bright spots that we can look to the future to, with some players who maybe did a couple personal things or showed some abilities or capabilities. They're like, okay, we got something to work with, but man, what a complete disintegration of a club.
Yeah,
it was hard to watch last year.
Yeah, it was, and I wasn't really in the loop with you guys at that time, but yeah, to me, it's like if you just go individual, like player by player, like I don't think you could really name one player on the team last year who improved. So yeah.
Hey, Carl, I won't hear you now. I'm definitely not going to listen to you later because that stat line is about as trash as your comment.
Oh.
So he has high hopes for Cole Kmet is what he's saying.
Yeah, he just hates Cole Kmet. He's been digging on him, just like.
Carl, is it because he went to Notre Dame?
Well, also because he went to. Where do you like? He's from Arlington Heights. He went to St. Viator. So he's a local kid too. So he's digging him on that too, because they went the local kid from Arlington Heights.
Yeah, I always allow Notre Dame hate. So
a lot of hate in Notre Dame. there was a question earlier up there, and we kind of glossed over it. Let me find it real quick. I mean, because it is still the I think Philip asked it actually. Let me find it. Jair Alexander was a question though. I do remember that.
Oh, then it was Eric.
Yeah, that was
Where's Jair gonna go?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything new.
and then he's
No,
going
Lamar Jackson had come out and is kind of campaigning for Alexander to go there. So that kind of puts a little bit more heat to the whole rumors of him going to Baltimore, but nothing substantial.
Jeremy's asking if there's going to be a Daily Show today. Well, Robert's been in the comments, so I'm assuming that means he's alive and awake. So there will be one. And Ken's saying yes, there will. And Ken, while I'm at it, is there going to be a roundtable tonight? No, well, I was on with the guys from JTT yesterday on their open mic, and a couple of guys said they'd come on if we host it for JB tonight.
I could do the back half of it, but the first half I got another show.
I can start it off right after Hallis. So we will do the roundtable tonight with special guest hosts Ken and Ken.
shout out JB.
Yeah, get home soon, brother. So we'll pick up for JB tonight. We'll try to, and the other guys say to help too. So yeah, Jeremy, to answer your question and then some. There'll be a lot of different shows today. We also have Hallis Hall tonight at 7 p.m. and at 8 p.m. we'll have the roundtable. Interesting though with Jair to see where he goes.
Detroit. It's just two-part. I mean, he wants to stay in the division. The Lions have plenty of cap space, and it meets Brad Holmes' whatever he has, fixation he has on signing injured players. Like, it's just too perfect for him not to go there, honestly.
I think there's an outside chance he lands in Vegas too.
Hey, I'm hoping that outside chance is right.
I mean, there's
him being a Raider.
Oh, let's see. Today's what? No, that's the 10th. That's 8 days old. Jeez.
I mean, it would just be absolutely fitting for him to
what
sign.
Ken is saying. It's all been Lamar Jackson's talking about Jair. Raiders fans want Alexander was a day ago. There was an article on that.
Of course we do. We want to pay him 15. We want to sign him to like a 4-year deal at like 15-20 million a year, and he'll play 5 games a year for us for the first 2 years, and then that's been our MO for years, to go sign corners that are overpriced and oft injured, and then get nothing out of them.
That's funny that you say the 15 a year, because that's kind of what I've been hearing floated that Alexander wants is 15 a year.
So, okay, I don't know what it is with players and their parents, like, getting involved, but Jair's dad, because, why not, is taking the X, and he said the Packers presented Jair with a deal that would have been, quote, foolish to take, and that Alexander wasn't, quote, willing to play for damn near free. His dad
It was a massively incentive-laden contract.
Yeah, right. The Packers say, hey, Jair, you're playing for cheese. You're playing for cheddar, baby. That's it.
No. They were going to give him his full contract, but you had to reach through incentives.
It featured, according to his dad, his name's Landis, by the way. Landis claims that the contract was to feature no guaranteed money. This probably means the deal proposed to Alexander would have been featured a base minimum salary with the rest of the money tied to per-game roster bonuses, essentially week-to-week team options. It depends on whether the coaching staff wanted to move forward with Alexander, with the health of the former All-Pro being a factor of play. So, I mean, okay, from that aspect, I kind of get it. Like, you don't want to play week-to-week, and like, but I get that. But guess what? That's most people in this country. So, but the bigger part is like, why is Jair's father popping off about this? Like, why are any of these players' parents popping off about these guys' contracts?
Because him and Watson's father apparently get together and they decide, hey, what post are we going to put on X today? Lambasted NFL fans about our NFL player sons.
Jeez,
I was going to tell Carl like his last comment. So instead of Odunze, I really liked Brock Bowers and I like Brian Thomas Jr. So like Brian Thomas Jr. was like my number 3 wide receiver. But I'm not mad that they got Odunze because I think Odunze can be pretty damn good. You know, yeah. So we'll see what happens this year. But yeah, I mean, Moore, he's making a lot of money. You know.
Yeah, I mean, he's making low end wide receiver, well, low to middle end wide receiver 1 money. You've got 2 other receivers on rookie deals that are, well, by NFL standards, cheap, right? So I mean, I don't know why we have to justify anything to Carl. They've got cap room, right? They're going to have some cap room to play with when the cap goes up. I mean, there's 1 or 2 contracts that they might want to get rid of or rework, but I mean, I don't think we have to justify to Carl why they're paying DJ Moore wide receiver 1 money when they have 2 good rookie deals underneath them. Now, does DJ Moore stay past this deal? Maybe not. Probably not. But I mean, that wide receiving room between DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Luther, when you actually sign them, is probably the 3 combined is less money than what, say, I don't know, a certain guy might be making in Minnesota or what a certain guy might be making in Cincinnati by themselves.
That's definitely not a bad deal for paying a wide receiver 1, a guy who's like a legit wide receiver 1. Like I don't have a problem with it. The other thing I was saying is like it just kind of goes back to what I said earlier. I feel everyone's kind of getting like the slate wiped clean, and everyone's going to be judged going forward with this new staff, and that includes the players who are like the perennial players with the high value contracts. You know, like, hey, it's kind of like a contract year for, you know, like a Tremaine Edmonds or someone like that, because hey, you're getting paid a lot, you're looked at as one of the better players, but you know, there's also an out in your contract after this season. So not only the lower tier players, but like everyone's literally under the microscope this year, I feel.
Yeah, and Kelly, for the contract extensions for what she calls average talent at the skill positions, it's funny when we think of a guy like DJ Moore. If she's thinking of DJ Moore as an average talent, which he's not, but let's say if you want to go with that premise.
Well, yeah, we'll just say in general.
Even average talent is going for lots of money because it's not easy to find these guys.
I think the whole point of it is why spend that money on an average guy when you can go out and draft somebody a lot cheaper. Granted, you're taking a bit of a risk there.
A big risk, because look at some of these teams that don't have a wide receiving room that's worth anything. Like, you know, look at some of these rooms who don't have a running back room that's worth anything. I mean, here's the scary thing. You got about 2,000 guys under contract in the NFL at any given moment, like plus or minus 10 or 15 or so, right, with practice squad guys. There are 2,000 best football players in America. And then when you go at positionally, the difference between the best receiver and the worst receiver in the league is still better than anyone else in the country, right? That worst receiver in the league is still better than anyone else in the country, not in the NFL, by miles usually. So, I mean, if you want to have solid play and you got a guy who puts up decent numbers, like he's a commodity. Adam Thielen made a living on that because he's a solid NFL football player who produces year in, year out. Is he a super stud? No. Is he average? Yeah, but he's a phenomenal average because you know you can go to him. Yeah, he's not going to put up 1,500 yards and 28 touchdowns or some gaudy numbers, but he puts up good, solid numbers that helps your team move along.
Well, I mean, that you're looking at it specifically at players, Kelly, and I would say coaching has a lot to do with it. The Bears haven't had great coaching, and we'll see if they do now. But as far as spending money on average players, let me just remind you that you only have what you draft or what you sign in free agency. So you have to spend 90% of your cap space every year, or else you get penalized for that. So you either give a large contract to an average player, or you give that large contract to their backup. But either way, you're going to be paying somebody good money. So
Joe, let me save you from Carl, because you weren't 100% accurate there. They don't have to spend the 90% every year. They can get away without spending 90% for like a year, maybe 2, I think it is, and then they get tagged. But they can't go. They're allowed to have a year where they missed the mark. I know that. I can't remember if it's 1 or 2 years, but you're right.
I think it's one where you can
Right.
roll it over.
But that's the other piece. The NFLPA has made it too, where average guys are making more money, and I agree that coaching is a big piece. So I don't know if it's mismanagement of draft assets, Kelly. To be honest with you, I think we've definitely had issues in the coaching department, which we're all hoping in Chicago with this exciting hire of Ben Johnson, because I haven't seen Bears fans really excited about a head coaching hire like this in a long time. They weren't this excited for Nagy to come in. We weren't excited when Fox came in. We weren't this excited for Eberflus to come in. This is the first Bears coaching hire that I can think of. Even Lovie Smith had a little fanfare, but that was more because of what he said at the press conference, not when we actually hired him. Like, everyone in Chicago was like dying to get Ben Johnson. Okay, so let's see what happens this year. Because I think what you're seeing in Green Bay, Kelly, is this, and I've said this several times. Matt LaFleur is a phenomenal coach at putting his players in position to succeed, whereas Bears coaches have not. As evidenced by the talent that has come through the doors here and gone on elsewhere to do great things, but didn't do jack in Chicago.
Yeah, and that the inverse is true with Green Bay. We see players that were productive here, and once they leave the team, they completely and utterly disappear.
Yep. So, I mean, Kelly, I think you should be more upset about the coaching decisions than maybe the personnel decisions overall. And there haven't, not to say there haven't been bad personnel decisions. We had Mapletron. I get it. But every GM is going to have misses, right? But I think it's been more of the coaching more than the personnel. DJ Moore if the Bears were to cut DJ Moore, there are 31 teams that would try to sign him the next day. Well, maybe 29. I don't know if Minnesota would try. They might not try.
Cincinnati.
And Cincinnati might not try, but everyone else would probably try.
Buffalo would definitely try.
Oh, yeah.
They sure would.
They'd be knocking his door down.
They just roll up in the Brinks truck.
Yeah. Hey,
well, I don't know if they're going to roll up in the Brinks truck. They ain't got that much cash.
No, Ken, they're like, we'll be willing to sell someone's kidney to get you the cap space, okay?
They'll find it. They'll find them the money.
Yeah. They have one of the worst available caps of any team in the league. I think actually they might actually be 32 out of 32 right now.
If Kmet got cut, I think he'd be signed within a week.
I don't understand how Buffalo can have like no cap space and no wide receiver room. Like
Josh Allen, that's how.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one player, dude. Like, even if he's making $60 million a year, you still have 3/4 of your cap space left. Like, you should be able to field at least wide receiver. Like,
all right, Buffalo Bills, seeing as we want to make a thing of it. Yeah, you look at their cap numbers. Josh Allen is the biggest at $36.3 mil. Deion Dawkins, $19.9 mil. Dawson Knox, their tight end, $14.5 mil. Matt Milano, $12.1 mil. Ed Oliver, $11.2 mil. And then you got three guys who are just over in the nines. DeJuan Jones, Connor McGovern, and Curtis Samuel are all in the nines. Then you got a couple guys in the eight, Spencer Brown, Taron Johnson. So that's how, I mean, they got a lot of guys. I mean, and then it goes to more average, $5-3 million. But, that's where it is. Josh Allen, Deion Dawkins, Dawson Knox makes a ton of money. My God. And you know what? Dawson Knox, you're about to talk about a tight end who's fallen off, stat-wise. For 26, he's 17.6. If they're not going to cut on the dead cap, is too bad. Next year he's fine. He's only worth, his cap number is only $2 million next year. This is a big cap number year for him. For 26, the big cap number year for him. Last year was 14. But yeah, Dawson Knox, like, what happened to that guy? Like, he kind of fell off after the big contract, didn't he? Because I remember for Kevin on Fantasy League, it feels like he fell off. Yeah. That's where their money's at, Joe.
So apparently Dorn's a big a fan of X. Kelly
He should be.
Consuelos, is that is that a she or he? And is she or he a fan of what team? Have we made that determination yet?
I think
we
the
have
Bears.
not.
Kelly has been talking
I
about
think
the Bears and the
Yeah,
way
I
they
think she's a
spend money.
Bears fan who's just upset with the way the team has been managed.
Yeah.
And Dorn made the right move and is proving that you can comment from X. If Dorn can figure it out, if I can figure it out, anyone can figure it out. For the 24, 25 of you on X right now. Yeah. I think Kelly's just upset with the way the Bears have been managed. And she's trying to figure out, why are we spending the money we're spending, but we're not getting the wins? And that's a fair argument. Right? Because it's a fair argument. Like, why am I paying all these guys all this money? In the last 2 years, they've won 8 games. Completely fair argument and fair question to ask. And I would say that it's not necessarily.
Well, Kelly, you're not unique, and the Bears are not unique either.
Yeah.
There's plenty of teams that are spending that cap and not getting wins.
Yep.
I would say, though, in the Bears case specifically, and you can say the same thing for the Raiders, coaching has been an issue.
Yep.
For as much as Raiders fans loved AP, he ended up not being the right coach for them. Like, I love the dude. The guy has great press conferences. But yeah, he's not the right coach. He wasn't the right coach for the Raiders. So let's see how Ben Johnson and his new coaching staff does. And I hope that they use Cole Kmet, who, properly. I hope they use Roschon Johnson properly. Because I think a lot of us don't think Roschon Johnson's been used well in Chicago either.
I'm a lot happier about Pete Carroll being our coach, though.
So I think Kelly's an undercover Packers fan, probably someone on the one of the shows, who created a profile, Kelly Consuelos, that is now just wanting to troll.
Well, look, like, this isn't a bad argument. Is she wrong? He or she wrong? No.
I'm not.
They've moved the ball better, but once again, it comes down to coaching.
Hey.
Like, Matt LaFleur has been a superior coach to Eberflus and everyone else that we've had in Chicago since.
Yeah, I mean, Kelly, you want to rip the Bears? Take notes, sweetheart. Nobody does it as well as I do.
I gotta go, guys. Hey, Ken, I'll see you later for the MMA show.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you a question really quick.
Yeah, what's up?
The rumors true about AP that he just did a ton of cocaine? Seriously, because that was like a big rumor. I don't know if you guys heard it, but like supposedly he was like a major like cokehead.
I don't know.
Did you hear anything about that?
No.
Okay, just curious. Just trying it out there.
I mean, bro, they're in Vegas. Like, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, nothing would surprise me. Well, we'll see on the MMA show. Joe.
Why else do you go to Vegas other than strippers and cocaine, dude? Like, So.
Yeah, that's why I've never been, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's nothing there for me except divorce and death.
I know what would happen if I went. Yeah.
So you're saying, Broski, you don't want to plan a trip with me to Vegas?
No. Yeah. Nah. Sorry, can't do that.
And Kelly, to answer your question here, once again, though, so you get the solid play, but a terrible play and a terrible result with under 500 winning percentage. Like, we just say 8 games over the last 2 years, right? Is it worth it? Well, I don't think anyone would say, yeah, it's worth it, right? But then the question becomes, all right, so it's not worth it. What's the problem? Like, if we get rid of DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, all these guys we're paying money to, and bring in other guys for a lot less money, with that coaching staff, what's the result? So that the Bears had to determine, right, what's causing this result? Is it the personnel we're bringing in and paying the money to, or is it the coaching staff that's coaching the personnel we're bringing in? And this is true in any sport, right? You have a baseball team with a ton of all-stars, but the manager is shit and they never win anything, right? I mean, it's the same thing. So you get rid of the manager, bring in a new one, all of a sudden it's a good baseball team. You're like, whoa, what the hell happened here? Same thing in football. We've seen this before. You get rid of one coach, bring in another coach, they go from worst to first. When Matt Nagy came here for John Fox, all of a sudden we win the division. And Nagy looked like a stud. Different coaching. They were coached better, right? So, I mean, there are times where it's personnel. We have a great coach who just doesn't have the personnel because the GM doesn't give it to him. I don't think he said that the Chicago had bad GMs or drafted bad players or signed bad free agents. I think they have hired the wrong head coaches. Broski, would you agree with that with the 20 seconds we got left before we say goodbye?
Bears have hired bad coaches, they've hired bad GMs, and they have a bad president, and they've had bad ownership. So, yeah.
There we go. There's Broski's take. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget the MMA show at 2. House Hall tonight with me, Broski, and a bunch of other guys at 8, and then the round table right after that. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.